Are you ready? No, I said, are you ready? Triple H has claimed that they do not write shows to create great matches. He says that they only tell stories. Well, WWE are telling one story, and that is the story of Pinocchio. And you may have guessed that based on the size of Triple H's fucking nose, he is playing the main character because this guy is nothing but a liar. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. That's the story that WWE are telling you. The story of Pinocchio, the lying guy, the guy that told lies, and his nose got bigger and bigger and bigger, because that is what's happening to Triple H. Soon, he won't need a sledgehammer to bury people, because his nose will be fucking 18 foot tall. He'll just be whacking them with that instead.
Didn't CM Punk bends over to Triple H and says, "Tell me when I'm telling lies," and then Triple H proceeds to tell lies and then shoves his nose clean up CM Punk's arse?
I mean, we've seen brown nosers in the wrestling business before, but I mean, Triple H could be the legitimate definition of a brown noser. His nose could be as brown as it gets with how far he is shoving this thing up people's arse. But for this guy to come out, he claims that WWE are telling stories. They don't even have one story. We don't have one story, never mind stories in terms of plural. We don't even have one. We don't have a individual story, never mind multiple stories. So this guy really just he likes the sound of his own voice. Fuck him, he's the worst thing to happen to wrestling. Bret Hart was right all along. We just didn't know it.
I take it back, Bret. I bury Bret for a lot of things, but honestly, everything he said about Triple H, outside of the 4 out of 10 thing, is pretty much true, isn't it?
Aye, and Cody Rhodes...
The carrying the bags, the brown nosing, it's through the roof. And before we move on to Cody Rhodes, let's actually just take a minute here and try and think of a current storyline that they've got. So, we'll start with Raw. Nothing. There
is hee-haw. There is absolutely... not one thing going on.
Seth Rollins getting an injury and
it's not a story.
It's something that they couldn't be helped.
Two guys in a faction, not a story.
Yep. Lyra Valkyria and Bayley acting retarded, not a story.
Charlotte and Alexa pretending to be friends is not a story.
Dominic, Rusev and Penta, not a story. Dragon Lee and AJ Styles versus the Judgment Day, not a story. That's pretty much sums up Raw. There's nothing happening there. We'll move to SmackDown because Triple H doesn't do NXT. That's Shawn Michaels.
Not that there's any stories going on there either, to be honest. So
no, but I would say if I was to pick out the three, that NXT definitely's got something going on.
Name it.
No, well, I couldn't name you one right now, but I'm talking about this year.
SmackDown, main event scene, no stories, just McIntyre just jobbing it to Cody Rhodes at every single show. Cody Rhodes, you're lucky if the guy shows up. Not a story going on there. Look, Jacob Fatu was attacked. That's a story. Nah, Jacob Fatu is no longer seen. Jacob Fatu is off TV. Nobody cares. There's no story. There's no investigation. There's no looking into it. Oh, but Nick Aldis asked Cody Rhodes if he'd done it. Oh, he asked Cody, did you do it? Cody said no, and he was like, oh, well, that's good enough for me, quarterback, QB1, so no story going on there. Oh, but look, the Wyatt Six and the MTF, they stood in the ring and they looked at each other. Aye, and so fucking what? That was a confrontation, not a story.
What about Nikki Cross standing backstage? Surely there's a story there. When she's lingering in the back of shots. Come on, hit me with it.
No. See if you're at the shops and you're in the line and someone else is in the line and you turn around and you look at each other, that's not a story. That's just two guys making eye contact.
Aye.
So there you go. That's but you've got Selena Vega and Aleister Black. They're doing these wee. Not a story. They're copying this. All that is Triple H trying to fucking take a dig at Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Oh, look, we released you, and now we've given your crappy fucking segments to somebody else. That's all you've got there. Who else have you got on SmackDown? Who is the champion on SmackDown? Oh, Eli Dragunov. What story is he? Nah, nothing. Open challenge. The guy before him, Sami Zayn, open challenges. So no story going on for the US title. Tag belts. I don't know, one of those shitty factions has got them. Can't remember exactly who. Oh, but Carmelo and Miz, they've got a story. No, they don't. They tagged up. They couldn't get along. They broke up as a tag team, and now they've been beating each other up. But there's no story going on there. Oh, it was a tag team that just didn't work, and now they're feuding. But every single week, either facing each other in a match or attacking each other. Michael Cole's on SmackDown because Joe Testori can't work Fridays now, but that's not a story. Although it's probably the most interesting change that they've got. Well, that's it really. Women's, the Tiffany Stratton every week was either beating Nia Jax or Jade Cargill. No stories going on there.
The entirety of John Cena's run.
Not a story. Julia is the US champion, doesn't really speak English, not a story going on there. Chelsea Green, not a story going on there. Not a story going on anywhere. Who else have we got? We've got Damian Priest, no story going on there. That's it really. I can't think of anything else. That sums it up. Yeah, that's it. No stories. Not a single story going on WWE.
The roster feels bigger than ever. It's bloated as hell, and they don't have.
Well, bigger in terms of
I
size. Yeah, but let's not pretend bigger until. You're not looking at these people and you're going, these are big personalities or these are big physical guys. No. It's smaller than ever, in terms of size of the individuals and the characters and the wrestlers. It's never been fucking smaller.
No, absolutely. But we have nothing. You got nothing.
I would love somebody. We don't have the capabilities, but if somebody can do this, then I would appreciate it. Is there any way to compare the average size of rosters over the years? So can somebody say what the average height and average weight is of this current roster, and then compare it to, let's say, 2015, then compare it to 2005, and then compare it to 95? Yeah. I would like to know what the average height and average weight of the rosters have been over the decade.
Well, I seen one on Twitter earlier. It wasn't to do with weight or height or whatever. It was to do with age. 2025.
Well, this will be the oldest one by far.
Well, listen, but 2025, median age is 41.7. The youngest was someone, I think, Gunther 37 was the youngest. Back to the year 2000.
What, is this main event scene or?
Yes, main event scene. And the main event scene in 2000 was, I think it was 31.9. And the oldest age in 2000 was Austin at 36. Now, that is like a gap of...
Would Taker not have been...
Taker was 35. Now, that is about a gap...
Austin's older than Taker?
Yeah, by a year. So that is a gap of nearly 10 years, right? Compare it to football. The median age in football normally stems between 25 and about 29.5. So that's 4.5 points. And that's in like a 20-team league and across the world. This is wrestling. How the fuck... The oldest guy... the youngest guy today is older than the oldest guy in 2000. How's that happened?
Yeah, but you also got to factor in, Austin, regardless of his age, had to be a main event guy. Taker, Rock, they had to be main event guys. So even if they were old, you're going to have them in the main event. It's going to bump up the average age of your main eventers because those are legitimate main event guys. See, today... You look at your main event guys, you could literally replace them with anybody. So there's no excuse to have an old main event now because you don't need a 40-year-old Jey Uso when you could just put a 28-year-old Braun Breaker in the main event. Do you see what I mean? It's not like...
We've said that for ages.
But see with Austin being 36 or whatever age he was, it's not like you can go, well, Austin doesn't need to be in there. We'll just make it younger by sticking in 24-year-old Funaki. No, you can't replace... Stone Cold with Funaki, but you look at Jey Uso, you look at Gunther, these people can be replaced.
Yep, and should be replaced, but they're not replaced.
The average age back then of the main eventers was pretty much forced on you because Stone Cold was so good that he had to be a main event guy. Undertaker was so good, he had to be a main event guy. See, in 2025, WWE are choosing to have their main eventers be old as fuck. You can't look at Jey Uso and Gunther and you can't turn around and say, oh, these people are so fucking good that they're pushing the younger guys out of the main event scene. WWE is purposely choosing to have these old guys in the main event. They could
you're
easily be
right.
replaced.
But that is the key thing. But like if you look at the guys back in the Attitude Era who weren't in the main event, they were extremely young. You're looking at like the Hardys. I mean, we're talking about when the Hardys came into it, man. Teens into like early 20s, and so many other examples. But now you're talking like even guys like Sheamus, who's nowhere near. I mean Sheamus, AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston, I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn weren't even factored in.
I get to an extent though that whoever is in the main event is probably going to be among the older people on the roster, because probably to get to that main event status, you need to have years behind you. I would say it's more than likely that if you take 5 main event guys and you take 5 jobbers, yes, the main event guys are on average probably more likely to be older because it takes them time to get to the main event. But holy fuck, it's like the guys that are in the main event they're not good enough. They're not good enough.
No, but that switch of 10 years older is absolutely insane. It would be bad.
No, but see in 2000, you'd be looking at Austin and you'd be going, not ideal. And was it you sure he was 36 in 2000?
Yeah, he's born in 1964.
So Austin's 65 now? Or 64?
61, mate. He's born in 64. It's 2025. He'll be 61 in December.
Alright, my maths wasn't mathing.
Yeah, they fucking weren't.
Right, so...
Not till I was at 30 yet.
See in 2000, right, you'd be looking at Austin and you would go, 36. Let's be honest, not ideal. I wish Austin was 26. In an ideal world, Austin would be 26. But he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's the biggest draw we've got. He's the biggest star we've got. We have to push him as the number 1. He has to be in the main event. So, yeah, we wish he was younger. But here, he's the biggest star that is in the wrestling business. Austin's in the main event. You look at Jey Uso 40. How can you back? How can you defend and justify having that guy in the main event scene?
You can't. You just fucking can't. And there's no quality to them. There's nothing to them. There's no redeeming factors to them. And that's what made previous eras so good. Yeah, there's guys that have been stars. It doesn't matter of their age. But none of that exists today. That's why the Ruthless Aggression worked. Because all the guys are pushing.
But like we say it as well when when we always say, but when you got older, right? They moved you on and they pushed young guys. That's the way it should be. Only the very best, only the legends, only the cream of the crop should be allowed to stay on the main roster and stay in the main event scenes as they get older.
Yep.
And when you look at it, look at 2002. People say that's the best roster ever assembled. See, when you look at active wrestlers, I think there was only 3 that were above 40. I'm pretty sure it was Hogan, Flair, and DDP.
Yeah, I think Nash would have been, but he was injured, wasn't he? Well, he was in it too. He's had a few matches so far.
I don't know if Nash was there at that time or not. I know he was injured at a certain period of time. But you look at Hogan and Flair, like they were the guys. You weren't getting fucking... There was no jobber, right? There was no guy that sucked from the 80s that was in 2002 on the main roster.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And you look at like 2003, Piper comes back. You got guys like Nash. These are guys that deserve to be there and should be there.
And see anybody that did get brought back that was like a jobber in the early 90s or the 80s or whatever, they were pretty much used in a comedy role. Like a Doink the fucking Clown.
A Brooklyn
Brawler. Guys like that. See, then you look as we go into the Ruthless Aggression era, then see when you get beyond the Ruthless Aggression era and you're like moving into like the late 2000s, you look at the older guys that are you've got the young guys coming through, you've got the new generation coming through, and then you look at the old guys that are still at the top of the card, and who are they? It's your Takers, it's your Triple H's, it's your Shawn Michaelses.
Yeah, no, 110%.
You haven't got, like, I'm trying to think of someone from like the 90s that was pretty damn shite. You haven't got...
D'Lo Brown isn't floating about in 2010.
No, he's not in the main event scene.
No, he's not. So it just doesn't work. Time moves on. It's like anything like this business, man. You need to bring up the new generation. You can't just fucking... But the real problem is all these guys that are main eventing today were nobodies when wrestling was good. That for the most part, right? Obviously, the main there was Cena was obviously on today's list, but that's different. Orton was on it, that's different. But the guys who were on it, like the Cody Rhodeses, the Roman Reigns, the Jey Usos, etc. I mean, they're all 41. I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens might have been on it. Gunther, Rollins, but how many of these guys have been wrestling since the early 2000s and achieved nothing? Achieved nada. But anyway, I think it's about time we actually dove into Triple H's comments here. Now, he was asked about how WWE is different from the UFC, and he gave this answer, and I quote, "We tell stories. People within our business sometimes take this wrong. We don't write the shows based on, that'll be a great match. We write it on the stories that we can create, the protagonist, the antagonist, how that works with each other, telling stories that can resonate with people, something that maybe they've experienced in their real life. Say some type of fantastical version of that." End of quote. So immediately, right, we've just went through how that there is no stories. At least the UFC is real, and that there is no real. You can't. Yeah, you can actually get stories in UFC. You can get like a comeback story. You can get the basic stories, a comeback story, or an actual it's a trilogy or something, and that's as good as a story.
Yeah, but UFC and boxing were never designed to tell stories. They were designed to get the best fighter. Oh, who is the best heavyweight in the world? Who is the best boxer? Well, we're going to find out because there's a title belt, and the best boxers will rise to the top, and whoever is the best will become champion. Oh, who's the best mixed martial artist? Well, there's a world title. We're going to find out. We're going to stick them in a cage. They're going to wrestle each other. What is wrestling? It's sports entertainment. It's fake. It's two guys pretending to fight. And why the fuck would you want to watch a fake fight when you can watch a real fight? Well, I'll tell you one reason. See, if you give us larger-than-life characters and you throw in stories, then all of a sudden, watching those fake fights become more interesting than watching the real fights. But Triple H has stripped the characters away, he's stripped the stories away, and literally now, all he gives you is fake fucking fights with fake brawls. And see if I have to watch one more show where security come out like 3-4 times a show just to split people up, I'll
I would agree with Triple H here. Not every feud is necessarily built on whether it will be a great match. I agree with that. Now there is some like Eli Dragunov, he can do this, Gunther, etc. But there's no way CM Punk versus Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event was booked because those two are going to have a great match.
I disagree. People think they do give good matches.
Jey Uso, CM Punk.
Yes, people.
Twitter's bashed the fuck out of Jey Uso. People are accusing him of sandbagging. Now, if he wanted to...
Hold on. People are accusing him of sandbagging, so that means that Triple H didn't think it could be a great match. That makes no sense.
Triple H knows that Jey Uso's not a good worker.
How did Triple H know that Jey Uso was going to sandbag the match?
He doesn't need to sandbag to be shite. He's shite all year. But
you brought up the fact that he sandbagged as if that was a reason. Oh, look, there they go, the match was shite. Well, how Triple H doesn't know ahead of the match? So come on.
But did he sandbag against his own brother? His twin? He was shite in that match.
Don't know, I don't pay
enough. What about all the matches against Gunther? What about every match he's in? Jey Uso's not a good worker.
Hold on here. I know he's not a fucking good worker, but the average wrestling fan thinks he is good.
No, I don't think they do.
I think they
think he's good, but not a good worker. So you think Triple H does book every match because it's going to be a great match?
We're in
every single match.
Yes, we're in the.
I don't agree.
Well, where's Omos then? Where's Omos? A big guy that fucking can't work.
I think that's a different...
No, where's Omos? A big guy that can't work. Tell you this, you say Triple H doesn't book matches to give you good... When was the last time we just had a match, right, that was purposely there to advance one of these so-called stories that Triple H has going on? When was the last time we seen a match just end in like 2 minutes or get thrown out because of a DQ? Every match goes long. It doesn't matter what match it is. Every match goes long. You watch Raw, whether it be a jobber match, mid-card match, upper mid, main event, every match goes long. Every match goes like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And this is on Raw and SmackDown.
Yes, but my point...
No, but you'd see matches all the time that would get thrown out back in the day, and the match would literally only be made to set up a story. How many times would McMahon have maybe put Austin in a match, but the real intention wasn't to have a match? It was so the corporation could come down and beat up Austin.
See...
You don't get that anymore.
No, but listen.
No, you'd have Austin maybe in a match against Mideon. Austin beats him in 2 minutes, but it was just a ploy to get Austin in the ring so that the Acolytes could come out and Phosphorus could come out and all those guys could come out. When was the last time we seen a match that was just there to set up something else? Never. See, every time you get a match now on Raw, SmackDown, whatever, it's always given time, it's always given length to put on a good wrestling match. So what Triple H 100% books every single match to give us a good match. You can't. How can you say he does?
I disagree. It's not. It's about 95% of the time. Of course it is.
Right, name
So
me the 5%.
The Jey Usos of this world. He can't work. He's shit. He's simply in there.
Triple H doesn't think that.
You think so? You believe Triple H thinks Jey Uso's a brilliant worker, a great wrestler?
Well, look at the people he's got in the main event. Look at the people he thinks are stars. So obviously he does.
Yes, but see as shite as I think Gunther is, and as shite as I think Seth Rollins is, and guys of that ilk, even like Cody Rhodes, they are better than Jey Uso, and Triple H must know that.
I don't think he does.
So you don't think Triple H knows that?
No, I don't think he does. No, I mean, would I need to repeat myself?
Right, fair enough. I'm going to disagree.
Answer my question. Answer my question. When was the last time we got a short match? When was the last time?
I don't disagree with you.
When was the last time we got a match to set up something else, and the focus of the match wasn't on them trying to? Now you can say Jey Uso isn't a good worker. I agree with you, but when was the last time? When was the last time we had a match with Jey Uso in it that wasn't there to purposely put on a good match? So you think Triple H is giving Jey Uso a 20-minute match to purposely stink out the joint?
No, I think he's rewarding him with a 20-minute match.
No.
Are saying yeet.
Because back in the day, Vince, when he booked people that couldn't either worked around their limited ability, they would have got shorter matches. Like Vince would have went, hold on, see Khali here, we're not going to have him try and.
No, but I think the basic template now is long matches. It's not just a case if you can work, you'll do.
Yeah, but that's to give a good match. Back in the day, McMahon didn't.
I also think it's the full time.
No, but back in the day,
he knows he can't. He can't do a 5-minute match between Punk and Uso.
Back in the day, McMahon would have done a 5-minute match.
Not in the pay-per-view, is my point.
Lower matches down the card, yes.
Yes, but this is the main event. That's what I'm saying. This is the main event.
On Raw and SmackDown, there was plenty of quick matches that would last in a minute.
I've played the game. I'm fucking well aware. That's where it was good.
But when do you get minute matches now? When do you get squash matches?
You don't.
When do you get a squash match?
You never do.
The closest thing we've got to a squash match was in years would be that match that we seen the other night there, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill. That's the closest thing. When do you get? Oh, but Brock only ever wrestles 7 minutes. When do you actually get like a squash match on Raw or SmackDown? You don't,
but honestly,
because that's considered embarrassing. Triple H should be like, oh no, hold on, Rusev, come back and put him in a. No, we can't be doing that. We need to put on a good match, even if it's Rusev versus some jobber. It needs to go 10 minutes because we don't want to disrespect the job. So Triple H puts on every match to try and give you a good. Of course he does.
Well, yeah, I think 95% of them that's the case. Personally, I think 100% of them's for his own personal agenda. Because there is no stories. We can fucking 110% agree on that. But maybe you think Triple H is even too far gone than what I think. But if Triple H truly thinks that Jey Uso's a good worker and that's part of the reason why he gets these long matches like everybody else, then I think we're even more fucked than I thought before this video started.
If Triple H knew that Jey Uso wasn't a good worker, and if Triple
but that's what someone good would do. He's not good.
If Triple H knew that Jey Uso wasn't a good worker, and if Triple H, like you're claiming, didn't just care about giving us a good match, then he would make matches that would like tailor around Jey Uso. He would make them, first of all, not be as long. He would turn them into more of like brawls rather than so-called technical wrestling matches. He would add a gimmick match rather than just it's going to be a straight-on wrestling match.
But isn't that you overrating Triple H's ability to think? That's what McMahon would have did. Triple H can't do that. See if McMahon was handling Jey Uso, right? First of all, he'd be nowhere. But let's say McMahon McMahon books him to beat Gunther, right? And he beats Gunther at Mania. See when Jey Uso continues to put on stinker after stinker. You try to tell me Jey Uso gets a second world title chance? All these other opportunities throughout the year, taking on Gunther, taking on Punk, No, he'd be straight in the fucking card. But Triple H is rewarding this guy, in my opinion. He's one of many because of the crowd reaction that he gets. It's all about agendas. He loves the finger poke to the side. I'll agree that 90% of them is to book a great match, but there's no way Triple H is booking.
All of them are to book great. He doesn't put on matches to purposely not give you a good match. He doesn't do that. And the booking proof is right there. It's never. When's it happened? There's so many matches.
Okay, so look at guys in that battle royal then. Look at guys in that battle royal. So is Jey Uso? So do you believe that Triple H thinks that Jey Uso is the best option to get a good match out of CM Punk? Or why? So what? Do you believe that? Does he think he's better than AJ Styles to get a good match out of Punk?
Well, I don't. Well, first of all, AJ Styles isn't in the main event scene.
He took on Cena.
And he's tagging up with fucking Tackle Master Dragon Lee.
Did you see the moves he kicked out of? If he can kick out of all those moves, why can't he be in the main event?
Well, when you use that logic, then AJ Styles should be unbeatable. He kicked out basically every single finisher that's existed. But no, you just don't get matches anymore that set up anything. You just don't get it. Back in the day, you'd get it all the time. No, hold on. Do you think McMahon put Austin out? Do you think McMahon put Austin out every week in a match to try and get a great match? Or was it, hold on, we need to... Stone Cold Steve Austin's the biggest star we've got, so therefore he's going to be in the match.
Great matches come with great characters. Anyway, we'll move on, because there's plenty more to get into here for Triple H. He's a fucking... Triple H is just... We tell stories and we can't name one.
You got nothing.
Anyway, moving on, right? So he said, and I quote, "There is a writer's room. There's a show right now on Netflix called Unreal. And it is for the first time ever a look behind the scenes of what we do. We let cameras into the writer room. We let them backstage at our shows so you can see the production of the shows. You see what goes into it, you know? There are months of planning that goes into that stuff. We're looking now at WrestleMania in Vegas in April, what those matches are going to be and how we want to get there. What is the storyline arc that takes us there over time? I would say we're so much more akin to like the Marvel Universe, where you're planning it long term where the movies fit and how they go with all the characters, than we are direct MMA at the end of the day. Direct MMA, or you know it, UFC, is you're booking matches, and the interest is, that guy's really good, he's really good, I'm not sure who's going to win, let's put them together. When you get the right personalities involved, then it explodes. End of quote.
Right, the fact this guy is like comparing WWE to Marvel, and we wonder why this company sucks.
No, absolutely. But I mean, well, I agree with you, but according to him, he's basically burying the UFC for not burying them, but he's saying the UFC's doing what you're accusing them of doing, what I'm accusing them of doing, 95% of the time. That they're just booking matches for the sake of the best matches.
Well, it's UFC and it should be that way. It should be, right, who's the highest ranked fighter we've got? Because he needs to take on the champion.
Yeah, that's what it needs to be.
No, but like, see the way, it was at that time JBL was picking ball. He had to make a title defense, and he's picking balls out, and he picked Shannon Moore. Or that time Triple H defends against Taka Michinoku. Why should you get that in boxing? See if a champion's doing that, like a Deontay Wilder, top of the division, and he's got a voluntary defense, and he's literally picking fucking tomato cans. You're gonna get bashed for that. If you're the champion in boxing, you should be fighting the top contenders. You shouldn't be fighting a guy ranked 40th in the world. It's a real sport.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Oh, look at that. UFC want to have the two best guys in the division fight each other. They're bad. They only care about the match. Well, hold on here. Why wouldn't you want the best to fight the fucking best?
No, that's what it should be. But he's on about story arcs, long-term booking. Where is it then? Where are we going?
When was the last time WWE had a squash match? When was the last time WWE had a big guy come back and beat somebody in less than a minute? When was the last time WWE had, like, when McMahon was there and he was debuting like a Braun Strowman, and it would be Braun taking on like two guys or three guys in a handicap match, and he would just bury them straight up? When was the last time we've seen a match like that?
No, I don't. We just...
Squash matches get people over.
But see, I've noticed.
See, to get people over, they have to be dominant. See, to get some... No, but even when you look at NXT, you've got Trick Williams, who they're trying to portray as a monster. They're trying to portray as this dominant guy that is almost unbeatable. Yet, no matter who he faces, he goes like 10 minutes at least.
Yeah.
See, when Kane took on the fucking Hardy Boys, did the match last 10 minutes?
No, he squashed them in a minute.
See if Kane came out, even though it's 2-on-1, see if Kane came out against these two kids called the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, and they took him 10 minutes, and they got all their shitting, and they got all their big moves in on Kane, you'd be going, oh fuck, are you sure this guy's Undertaker's brother? He doesn't look that good. He doesn't look that dominant. But see when Kane comes out 2-on-1 and he dismantles two guys, even though if they're young and if they do look, on the smaller side, you're thinking, holy shit, he just cut through them like a knife through hot butter. This guy's obviously a machine. This guy's dominant. This guy's unstoppable. This guy is a threat. See when you seen Braun Strowman and he was beating people 3-on-1, 4-on-1, and they did the same thing with Omos. Remember when McMahon was pushing Omos? He had Omos beat people like 3-on-1.
Yeah.
In like fucking 1 minute. When was the last time we've seen matches like that in WWE?
No,
they don't happen because Triple H doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about, hold on, see if we have a squash match, see the guy that wins, he's going to look good. He doesn't care about that. All he cares about is, no, we can't be doing that. We need to have a good match. Oh, a 1 minute squash match can't be a good match. They need to go at least 10 minutes and it would be disrespectful to... No, but we live in a world where they think it would be disrespectful if... I'm trying to think of somebody. Name me someone that's like relatively big in terms of physical size. That is like relatively new, that's not in the main event, that they want to push.
Is Bronson Reed in the main event? He's upper mid. He's mid, I'll tell you that for free.
Right, Bronson Reed. Now, name me someone that's on the smaller size on Raw.
Kira Tozawa.
Right, well, no, someone a bit higher. Well, let's go with Kira. Bronson Reed. You're not going to get a match on Raw this upcoming week. Bronson Reed versus Akira Tozawa, and Bronson Reed beats him in a minute. You ain't going to get that. See if the wrestle is going to go at least 5, 6, 7 minutes, and Akira Tozawa's going to get his shit in. Akira Tozawa's going to build... At one point in the match, Akira Tozawa will build momentum, and he'll get a bit of offense in, and Joe Testoria will be like, oh, can Akira do it? Can Akira do it? No. What happened to the days where they'd get in the ring, the bell would ring, Bronson Reed would hit like 2 moves, then do a splash off the top rope, 1, 2, 3. Your winner in 57 seconds, Bronson Reed.
That's what I do.
You see the way in Rocky, Apollo puts over Ivan Drago by jobbing out in the second round?
No, exactly.
Now see if Apollo gets battered, but he makes it all the way through the fight. Doesn't make Ivan Drago's win look as important.
Doesn't set up the Rocky fight all that well.
Rocky taking Drago to the last round doesn't look that impressive if Apollo Creed's already fucking done it.
Exactly.
But see the fact that Apollo Creed has battered him, Apollo Creed's been battered and killed in round 2, then all of a sudden Drago's a threat. See in the first fight with Clubber Lang, see the fact that Clubber Lang has KO'd Rocky in 2 minutes? Fucking hell, that means that you begin to think, well, there's no way Rocky can beat him in a rematch. See if Clubber Lang and Rocky went the whole entire 15 rounds and Clubber Lang won on the judges' scorecard by 1 point, you'd be thinking, oh fuck, that was a close match. Rocky can come back and beat him, no problem. It's all about how you book in wrestling now. They talk about 50-50 booking. It's never been closer to actual legit 50-50 booking, because no matter who wins, they always want to have a good match. The match always needs to go long. Both people in the match always need to be competitive. You don't get short matches anymore. You don't get squash matches that have the intent of setting up something else or just trying to push somebody, or a match that ends in a DQ. You get matches that end in DQ, but they make sure they have a good match first. How can you not see this?
No, but I do see this. Why are you putting words in my mouth?
No, but you're on about, oh no, he doesn't care about having a good match. I think he 100% does. When was the last time?
So you think every single match?
I do. When was the last time?
Fair enough.
When was the last time we had a match that lasted like a minute and then somebody ran in for the DQ? Triple H always makes sure you get the good 10-15 minute match first, then it ends in a DQ.
No, I just believe there's an exception when you've got people in there that can't work, and therefore, is it really true? Like Nia Jax, is she truly in there because of her working ability? No, I don't think she's in there to have a great match.
Hold on, did they not all blow smoke up that triple threat match like last month? As if it was great?
I don't know. I think about last month's wrestling. Anyway, Triple H did go on to explain why gimmicks don't work anymore.
Just before he talks about that, do you believe that Triple H watches JSO matches and watches Nia Jax matches and he goes, fuck, they're stinking at the joint?
He should, but he probably doesn't.
Because I think if he thought that, he wouldn't have them in those roles.
But I don't know. There's no way you can look at Jey Uso though and think he's a good worker.
Well, I think Triple H does.
Right, well, anyway, we'll move on. So he says gimmicks don't work in WWE anymore. So, in my opinion, if you want to book stuff like Marvel, which is gay, but that's just what we're dealing with. But if you want stories...
That guy in the green shirt, he's a homo.
No, but if you want stories and for people to care, long term, short term, whatever, gimmicks and characters come hand in hand. You need it. So how can he come around and say that gimmicks don't work anymore? No, I'll tell you what doesn't work about gimmicks. They don't work. Because they're not fucking working. Because they're not there to be worked. Where are they? Who's got a gimmick? What's someone's gimmick?
If gimmicks don't work anymore, can Triple H explain why this era, the era that has no gimmicks, is the worst era ever in professional wrestling?
Now, he was speaking on the All In podcast. There was a few talks about the 80s and 90s. There was people based on real world political tension, like the Iron Sheik representing Middle Eastern conflict, but those days are long gone. He pointed out that today, people portraying a stereotype would likely backfire, especially in an era where public sensitivity is higher and more reactionary than ever. But so before we get into the quotes, no one is asking, right, Triple H to create like an IDF general or like a Hamas guy or a Russian guy that goes around talking about, I bombed the fuck out of Kiev yesterday, right? I just want guys like, I mean, I even think that a pimp and a fucking porn star are even out the equation, but I just want something.
Well, why?
You know what I mean, though?
Why is a pimp? Why is a Godfather style character right out the equation when the women wrestlers today fucking show more revealing gear than any of Godfather's hoes ever did?
Well, no, that is true, but
no, but why is like a couple of female prostitutes or hoes on screen? Why is that like considered unacceptable when you look at Tiffany Stratton and she literally looks like a call girl or something like that? It makes no sense to me. We pretend that the women today, they're not like the women in the past that were only like used as fucking sex objects. The women today they're powerful, they're strong. Well, why did they wear more revealing gear than ever? Why did they wear more makeup than ever? Why did they wear more hair extensions, etc. than ever?
No, I totally agree with that, right?
No,
listen.
Hold on. See if you go through the entire roster, the majority of these females are literally fucking showing their ass cheeks. And here, see back in the day, it would have been great if Trish and Lita. But see when you actually think about it, see you look at the women back in the day. I think their ring gear was actually respectable. See you look at the Ruthless Aggression. I'm thinking here, see if the ones that wore shorts, it was shorts that covered their ass cheeks.
Yeah.
The first one that came along and kind of blew that out the water was Mickie James, because she'd kind of wrestle in a skirt and a fucking thong, and therefore you're like, holy shit. But when you look at Trish, for the majority of the time, like, she wore long pants.
Yes, Ivory.
And see anyone like I think Gail Kim, she kind of wore like shorts that were longer than. She wore shorts that were like, I think, down to like her thighs, if I recall correctly. But even if she didn't, right, maybe even the ones that just wear the kind of, the generic pants, they were like bottoms that covered the ass.
Yeah, now they're just revealing, but they pretend that they're. I mean, I think that's a whole different fucking gimmick. But gimmick, there's no gimmicks.
No, but look at Stephanie Fakir.
No, I know.
Her cheeks are literally on show, and I'm not complaining here, but I'm saying, like, how the fuck can you disrespect the women of the past when you've got this current generation of women coming out looking like that?
Well, let's get to my point here, because that's 100% right. But why are we looking at the extreme gimmicks like the Muhammad Hassans of the world and the Iron Sheik? Why can't we have Hurricanes? Why can't we have like Juice and Domino? Why can't we have MVP? Where are those gimmicks? It doesn't need to be terrorists. It doesn't need to be fucking army generals. It doesn't need to be like, a pimp. I can see why you wouldn't want to do a pimp, right? Even if there is plenty of holes out there. Why can't we even get basic? Why are they all getting put in the same category? Like, they're all evil. Could it just simply be because that's all McMahon and they just want to distance themselves from McMahon?
Possibly. Even Matt Striker, guy was a classroom teacher.
Look at the attitude era, right? The world's most deadliest man, like Steve Blackman. They are like, there's nothing controversial about those gimmicks. It's a guy who is a MMA fighter. He's got the gloves. You know, you've got Steve Blackman carries the duffel bag about karate, nunchucks. They're gimmicks.
Why can't we get a vampire?
Yeah, but no, but what?
No, I don't get it. No, oh, vampires aren't real. That's unreal. So hold on, you can get fucking dumb shite like the Wyatt family. That's absolute garbage. But you can't get like a vampire type of style character like a Kevin Thorne or a Gangrel or a Judas Messias.
The Wyatt family is nothing more than a glorified tribute act to a guy that's massively overrated. That's what they are. That's their gimmick, if you can call it that. They go to Disneyland and they bounce about the Bray Wyatt rides and they think they're brilliant.
Why can't we get a Eugene? I think we should get... The product's retarded, so why can't we get at least one retarded character?
Exactly. So this is what Triple H went on to say about it. And I quote, absolutely, I just think if you stereotyped somebody into a particular place, a lot of the world would rebel against that. Yeah, right, not in a positive way. And maybe sometimes people that have no real reason to have a position on either side of that. Right? End of quote. I'm going to disagree here. You look at Twitter, you look at Facebook, how many times do you scroll through it and it's like a clip for 15, 20, 25, 30 years ago and it'd be like, WWE always used to be wild, and then people would be like commenting like, oh, this is when we all watched it, this was great, it's no wonder the ratings were up, McMahon was a genius. This would bring back viewership. People want to see that. Russo was tweeting the other day about at JCW, he's going to be talking about real life issues like ICE, like conflicts. And that's what you need.
That's great, but Triple H says he doesn't want to stereotype somebody into a particular place. There has been so many fucking wrestlers over the years that would not have got a shot on the main roster and would not have amounted to anything if they didn't have a character. And one guy I can think of is Nick Dunsmore. Now, see when he was Eugene, people were saying, oh, they're burying this guy. Nick Dunsmore's a talented wrestler. He's this or he's that. But here's the thing. See, Nick Dunsmore... Nobody gave a fuck about him. Like, literally nobody cared about him. I don't know if you can remember the late Eugene character before he disappeared, but remember he cut all his hair off and he stopped coming out wearing that white, and he kind of just almost transitioned into a normal wrestler called Eugene.
Right,
and it was...
He graduated for the custard bus.
Nobody gave a shit about him.
Right.
He was an absolute fucking jobber. He was a nobody, and then sooner or later he was taken off the main roster. But seeing Nick Dunsmore, and Nick Dunsmore would have never got the opportunity to be a big part of Monday Night Raw for a couple of years, and Nick Dunsmore would never have got to take on Triple H at SummerSlam. Not a fucking chance. On what planet does Nick Dunsmore, if he's not... you think he gets to take on Triple H? You think Nick Dunsmore randomly comes in as Eric Bischoff's nephew? No, he came in as Eric Bischoff's nephew because he was fucking retarded.
Yep.
And that was his gimmick. He got a match with Triple H because he was fucking retarded, and he cost Triple H the world title.
No, but look at that. I mean,
but see, Nick, people thought the Eugene character buried Nick Dinsmore. The truth is,
he created it.
The truth is, Nick Dunsmore would never have got a chance. He would never have got a couple years on the main roster if it wasn't for that character. Look at another guy, and I forget his name. I forget his real name, but in WWE, he was called Kevin Thorne. Now, and before that, he was called the white guy, Mordecai. Pretty much everybody I know has come out and buried this guy, saying that he fucking sucks as a wrestler. Now, I forget. Is it Kevin Fertig or something? Or
it might be something like that.
I forget what his actual name is, but there's like a running, and maybe not necessarily in a bad way, because I think Matt Hardy's friends with the guy. But Matt Hardy basically came out and said, this guy sucks. They've fucking buried him non-stop. Point I'm making here is, see if he never got this Mordecai, like almost god-like character, anti-Christ character. See if he never got the Kevin Thorne vampire character with the fucking hot goth girlfriend. See if he never got these characters, that guy would never have got on TV. Now, yes, both his stints were pretty damn short and they led to nowhere. But because of the characters, he at least got a chance. He got an opportunity. And that is something that the plain wrestler with his normal name and normal tights, with no gimmick and no character, that's more than he would have got with that. I mean, I just don't know. People can't see it, but holy fuck. Triple H is trying to pretend here that giving people gimmicks would somehow hold them back. No, giving people gimmicks would give them a chance.
No, of course. I mean, look at the Godfather, Papa Shango, Mustafa, and the Nation. Bob Holly, Sparkplug, Hardcore Holly. I mean, Bradshaw was like 10 different fucking things as well. Look at the amount of guys that have played different gimmicks in WWE. Like Gregory Helms the Hurricane, etc, etc, etc. See with Foot, their gimmicks. Look at Cake. Mean Mark Galloway. That would be him. No Undertaker. No Kane. Just Glenn Jacobs. No Dr. Isaac Yankem. No Kane.
Yeah, you take gimmicks away, and Glenn Jacobs and Mark Calloway achieve fucking nothing in wrestling.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, Paul Lefebvre, Sean Hickenbottom. That's what we're dealing with here. There is not one person in wrestling who's really good, who's truly good, by the way, that got over without some form of gimmick / character. You can't play yourself. You can't. It just doesn't work. It's never worked.
Hey, Kurt, we're going to bring you up, but by the way, you're not an American hero, and you didn't wrestle in the Olympics. You're just some random guy. Aye, brilliant. That's entertaining.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's exciting.
There's a reason why people call like the Benoits of the world, the Dean Malenkos, like a bit boring, because they didn't really have a character. Their character was their wrestling. The problem is in 2025, what's everybody?
Yeah, Benoit was okay. Benoit was, even then though, they tried to give him some monikers, Toothless Aggression, the Rabid Wolf. They did try to put the guy over, but at the end of the day, Benoit was an exception because he was a great technical wrestler and he had arguably more aggression than anyone else on the roster. And that was like, okay, well here, Benoit's only really a wrestler, but he's like the best wrestler. So that's kind of good enough for him.
Yeah.
But see, when your gimmick is, you don't have one, and the only thing you do is wrestle, and everyone else on the roster wrestles, and you are like the 27th best wrestler, then you're not fucking going anywhere.
Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Nathan Fraser, 3 English guys, but the same height, look the same, or wrestle the same.
Now, if one of them had a gimmick, it would set them apart. It would give them a chance.
Oh, but they're dressed up as... Yeah, you know what? 2 of them are dressed up as the Americanos right now. At least that's something.
It's getting them on the show, isn't it? Because they weren't getting on the show without it.
Right, anyway, moving on. And I quote for Triple H, and I quote... the one thing about WWE is we're a fun reflection of the world. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be fantastical. It's supposed to let you come to an event for 3 hours and just turn off and enjoy entertainment and some type of representation of the world that is around you. But people get lost in it and they begin to take the representations too seriously sometimes. End of quote. So hold on. We're supposed to be fun. We're a fun world. They're supposed to come here and get lost, but they actually take it too serious. And
he says you're supposed to have fun and show up for 3 hours and turn off. Is that like everyone in the crowd is literally bored on their phones?
No, it's funny though.
They can't even turn off their phones.
What's more dangerous, replicating the moves or like pretending to be one of the characters? I'll tell you what's the moves. Moves kill, words don't. I mean, see me going, what? That's less dangerous than me attempting the Owen Hart pile driver on you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But for some reason the wrestling's fine. Try that at home, but don't try being a character at home. Because that might be offensive. He's a fucking loser. Guy's lost the plot. We've ranted on him for about fucking 50 minutes here. See this argument? I understand it to a degree with certain gimmicks, right? Because it just doesn't fly anymore.
Yokozuna would have just been another fucking boring member of the Samoan family that we don't want.
Yeah.
But instead, McMahon was like, no, you know what? Let's pretend this guy's for Japan and give him a sumo wrestler gimmick.
No, but see the fact that he's fired every single gimmick / character into the same category. You can't do Muhammad Hassan, you can't do Shark Boy. I mean, why can't you do Shark Boy? Why can't? No, it's ridiculous. We tell stories. See with foot characters, you've got nothing. Look at every TV show. You
got nothing.
Look at every TV show, right? See if everybody was just plain and vanilla. See the stories they're trying to tell, they wouldn't work. That you need stories to work.
Yeah, you need different characters to be different to set them apart, or else everyone's just the same.
Look at every...
And that's why wrestling sucks. Everyone's the same. Everyone looks the same. All the gear looks the same. There's literally nothing... There's nothing setting people apart. You look at like Jeff Hardy, right? And did he really have... I mean, you would argue his gimmick was he was like a death-defying, he was willing to put his body on the line or whatever, Daredevil type guy, but Jeff Hardy had a specific look.
Yeah.
He just looked totally... He wasn't just a guy that came out in playing fucking, wrestling trunks and wrestled. You know, Jeff Hardy came out looking like...
Yeah, but look at you got like the FBI, DOA, fucking the Nation of Domination, the Truth Commission,
APA,
right?
you know, literally...
All these... No, but all
Protection Agency.
All these different groups, right? See if Sons of Anarchy was just DOA, just a bunch of bald guys on bikes. See if The Sopranos was just the FBI, it wouldn't work. But see when you've got all these different factions on a TV show with all of them, it works.
Billy Ray could have just been a wrestler who had a bunch of fucking jobbers on the outside running and helping win matches. Would that have been good? No. But what he was the president of Aces and Eights, and he was the leader of our motorcycle club, and that made them fucking cool.
Yeah, nothing cool about this. Anyway, 56 minutes later, to wrap it up, there is no stories, there is no characters, there is no... I don't get, right? It's like, how can you do the Wyatt-6 and pretend that, like, you've... that is it's a shitey gimmick, but it is a gimmick. How can you have some gimmicks and let some things fly, but then don't let others fly?
I mean, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that the Wyatt-6 are a gimmick, but they do nothing with them. They've dressed them up, but what have they done with them?
Yeah, but the Wyatt-6 came in and essentially killed people on their first night. If you can do that, then why can't you have a fun, like, superhero character like the Hurricane? Why can't you have the world's most dangerous, deadliest man, Ken Shamrock?
No, but see when there's releases coming up and they're getting rid of jobbers, why can't we have someone debut as a new character as an ICE agent, and see instead of like Primo and Epico and whatever those guys are called, Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, see instead of those people just disappearing and never been shown on TV again because they've been released, why can't we actually have some guy come up and slap some cuffs on them and lead them away in the back of a police car, and you never see them again, like when JBL was at the border?
Yep.
Why can't we get that?
No, you get nothing. Anyway,
the world's full of fucking pussies. Why are you bowing down?
Well, to wrap it up, I think the reason why they're not doing this is because they know the only people watching are fucking lefty libtard fucks.
And they will
get offended.
Yeah, and they don't want to offend them. They don't want to upset them.
They can't offend the 1 million watching.
Yeah,
or else they'll be able to.
That's their remaining fan base. So we need to pander to them and don't do anything that will upset them.
Look at the image, man. He's pointing to Punk and Punk.
I guarantee you see people
where's that from? See
people that watch wrestling, and they're probably sitting with comfort blankets and shit like this and toys, and here's your wee teddy bear. Here's your wee comforter. What's the hell you don't like the colour red? Okay, we'll make sure that you don't see it. Oh, you have to when you're eating your pancakes, you have to have them cut up into 3 even slices. Okay,
I'll cut the crust off your toast.
I'll hand feed you. There you go. Oh, no bread on your butter, just mayonnaise. That's all right. Fucking loser.
Aye. Tell you what though, butter and mayonnaise ain't a good combo.
No, it's not. Like, maybe I should have came up with something. But you know, like, you know what I mean? I remember like Andrew Tate made a video once and he was on about
36 seconds to wrap it up.
Right, I remember Andrew Tate made a video once and there was like this kid that was coming down the stairs and he had to go down a specific way, and if he missed a step he'd start crying his eyes out and go back up and have to go down it again. His parents allowed it. And he was like, what about the kids in Africa that walk fucking 5 miles with a bucket of water on their head? If they make one misstep, do they have to walk back 5 miles? Fuck no. See that wee kid? Just fucking slap him and tell him to man up. And then on that note, guys, slap the like button. We'll catch you next time.
See, Andrew Tate's right sometimes.
Aye, sometimes.
I mean, that's fucking bang on the money.